Hey, I want to move on to another story, though, Mick, here. This is absolutely fascinating to a lot of people in Australia. This idea that members of Congress have been able for years to trade shares without any sort of insider trading laws that might apply to the rest of us here. There's been a big fight over that this week. Senator Josh Hawley, one of Trump's closest allies, pushing legislation around this. But Trump says that Hawley's been teaming up with Democrats on this. He slammed Hawley. At the same time, Nancy Pelosi, who has been one of Capitol Hill's, shall we say, most astute investors, wasn't particularly happy either. Have a look at this.
Nancy Pelosi became rich.
Why do you have to read that? We're here to talk about the 60th anniversary of Medicaid. That's what I agreed to come to talk about.
Yeah, but I
and
wanted
what that means in the election.
I wanted to give you a chance just to respond. He accused you of insider trading. What's your response to that?
That's ridiculous.
Nancy Pelosi not particularly happy about taking those questions there about her really outstanding luck in the share market. Tell us about this law, Mick.
Yeah, there's so much to unpack right there, James. First of all, that's the reaction of a Democrat who's never had to answer a tough question before on CNN. She was stunned that they would even ask her that. How could you ask me that question on this network? This is my network. This is the Clinton News Network. You're not supposed to ask me those questions on this. That's a Fox News type of question. But look, let's straighten out a couple of things about this because I follow this very closely. I have been in the House of Representatives, and I've also been in the White House. So I've seen this issue from a couple different perspectives. This is not an insider trading issue. Insider trading, which is trading in the stock market on private information, non-public information, is against the law. It's against the law for me as a private citizen. It was against the law for me as a congressman. It was against the law for me when I worked in the White House. It's not an insider trading issue. It's whether or not you should just not allow members of Congress to invest in individual stocks because they have so much impact over the equities markets, macroeconomy, everything. And it just looks bad. And this is what I tell all of my friends in Congress. Look, I used to be one of you guys, right? And we could own stocks. When I went down to the White House, they had rules that said we were not allowed to invest in individual stocks. I had to invest in broadly held mutual funds. Why there's different rules for members of the House and members of the White House, I have no idea. But I think the House and the Senate would be a lot better off by simply banning this because it looks so terrible to the public, and the institution is already struggling with its credibility.
It's funny, there's a X account, a Twitter account that tracks Nancy Pelosi's share trades, and that portfolio has done very, very well over the years. Hey, I want to talk about some Middle Eastern news here, too. The White House has also confirmed that Steve Witkoff is headed to Gaza on Saturday to inspect distribution sites for aid in Gaza. But this comes amidst all of these other countries calling for a recognition of Palestine. Canada is the latest one of the latest ones.
There's a lot of politicians here and a lot of folks in the Trump administration are like, wait a second, so you want to reward the Palestinians for the October 7th attacks. That's what this is all about, right? This is what the Palestinians wanted. They wanted this war. It's why they started the attacks on October 7th. And now here many Western countries contemplating giving them exactly what they wanted before they started this war. So I don't think it's going to help. It's going to fall on deaf ears, I think, in this country. Again, it may not be the kiss of death. It wasn't with the British, but it's not going to make making a deal any easier. I would watch the Canadian situation very closely if I was the Australian government.
Yeah, I think that's right. Hey, Mick, before I let you go, I got to talk about this, a little bit of lighter news here. We might not be unburdened by what has been, but Kamala Harris has confirmed she's not going to be running for California governor. Now, people are suggesting that maybe, well, I mean, Mick, I can't imagine she would, but could she be possibly tossing up a presidential run?
You know, James, she just talked about her book today as well. I think it comes out, but she did her announcement. So yesterday there was news about her. Yet today there's news about her. You could tell that there's sort of a coordinated effort to get in the news. But here's what I tell people in this country and in your country. I know a lot of Republicans who are really gung-ho about J.D. Vance in 2020. I know a lot of Republicans who are gung-ho about Marco Rubio. I know other folks who are excited about Ted Cruz. Go down the list. I know a lot of Democrats. I don't know a single Democrat who is clamoring for Kamala Harris to run for anything. And unless you can build some enthusiasm for your campaign, you're dead in the water. Remember, she ran in 2016 for president. People forget this, and had to drop out of the race before the Iowa caucuses, our very first primaries, because she did so poorly. She's a horrible candidate. She's lost a presidential run now twice. So I don't see her doing it unless she's truly unburdened by what has not been.
Well, I'll tell you, Mick, we would absolutely love her to run again here on the U.S. Report because it was so entertaining the last time around. Mick Mulvaney, we're going to have to leave it there. See you next time.